Hello, welcome to the Grow Your Wealthy Mindset podcast, where it is all about helping amazing physicians just like you create a wealthy life free from burnout and with the financial security to practice medicine on your own terms. I'm your host, Dr. Elisa Zhang. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're diving into a topic that can either be the ultimate bonding experience for marriage, or, let's be honest, the ultimate source of tension. We are talking about money. Specifically, how do married couples handle splitting finances? If you look online or ask a room full of people, you'll quickly realize that there is absolutely no single right way to do this. Personally, my husband and I share everything. All of our bank and brokerage accounts are joint accounts. There is no his money or my money. It's just our money. Now, we didn't just stumble into this perfect financial harmony. When we started out, we actually had a monthly allowance for each of us to have guilt-free spending. It's a habit that started a long time ago, back when we were a lot more frugal, and it's kind of stuck. We discuss large purchases together, but there are different nuances in how we manage our finances. For example, I plan our travel completely on my own. I may ask his opinion about something, but he has absolutely no idea how much I spend on flights or what our hotels cost. And this works for us. But what works for us might drive another couple completely crazy. Through my work coaching clients, I've seen a massive spectrum on how couples organize their finances. Generally, it boils down to three main strategies. The first is like what my husband and I do. What we'll say is the full merge. Everything goes in one big pot. All the bills, savings, investments, everything is shared. Then there's a his, hers, and ours system. It could be a his, and ours, or a her, hers, and ours. But the idea of this is that each person in the couple keeps their own separate individual accounts for personal spending or private savings, and there's a joint account for shared household expenses, which often includes the cost of any children in the family. Then there's a completely separate route. This is where both partners keep their independent accounts and either split the bills or divvy who pays for what. To see how this actually plays out in the real world, I decided to post a poll on two different Facebook groups for physicians. One Facebook group was a women physician only group, where the other Facebook group was a co-ed physician group. In the end, the responses were remarkably similar across both groups. By an overwhelming majority, the most popular choice was sharing everything. In the woman-only group, 71% of those who voted said that all their finances were combined. That compares to 75% of the people who voted in the co-ed group. So roughly about 3/4 of couples polled are fully merged in their finances. The next most popular system was the middle ground approach, having separate accounts for personal spending, but contributing to a joint account for household expenses. That came in at 15% for the women's group and 17% for the co-ed group. Finally, the smallest majority were the couples who keep everything completely separate and somehow split household bills. In the women's only group, this was 7%, whereas it was 8% in the co-ed group who chose this option. The few remaining percentage noted unique variations, where they added their own option. These were things like having joint accounts, but separate credit cards, or keeping everything separate, but intentionally not tracking who spends more or less. Now, these polls don't differentiate between first marriages and subsequent marriages, which could definitely change the financial math. But the takeaway is clear. While the vast majority of couples prefer to share everything, there is still a significant portion of people doing what works best for them. When I posted these polls, the comment section blew up with some incredible insights. I want to share a few different perspectives that highlight just how personal this choice is. On the all-in side, one person commented, quote, "If you're married, why would you split anything? Everyone's money goes in a joint account and all expenses are paid from that account. Same team, same dream." end quote. Another comment echoed this, but added a layer of income disparity. Quote, combine finances and stop splitting. Never understood how couples did that. I make 10x what my wife does, but our money is ours, end quote. I also read a beautiful breakdown from a dual income medical couple who found peace in the middle ground. They dated for 6 years, starting in medical school, splitting everything evenly. Once they got married, they consolidated into a joint high-yield savings account, but kept separate checking accounts. The comment reads, quote, $250 of each paycheck goes into our personal accounts to be used on whatever each of us wants. Clothes, a new video game, a power tool, books, and the rest goes into the joint HYSA. All of our bills are on auto pay from the joint account. In medical school, my spouse made more than me. Now it's the opposite. Our system works well because at the end of the day, it's a partnership and communication is key, end quote. Another person pointed out that keeping separate accounts is just a holdover from the past that stuck because it was easy. When you're a resident or a student with massive student loans, you get used to your own logins and your own credit cards. If both partners are high earners, leaving things separate can feel like the path of least resistance. Here's what I want you to take away from all of this. The logistics of your bank account matters far less than your underlying spending philosophies. As a coach, I've seen opposites attract. Sometimes a free spender marries a hardcore saver, and they balance each other out beautifully. Other times, they just drive each other completely nuts. Even if your spouse agrees on how you organize your bank accounts, you might radically disagree on your lifestyle or your investing philosophies. One of you may want to take big risks in the market, while the other wants cash safely tucked away. One of you might believe in saving aggressively to fund your kids' college education, while the other, who may be worth their way through school, believes that kids should have skin in the game and pay for it themselves. You may clash over luxury items. Is a luxury car or a high-end designer bag a well-deserved reward or a complete waste of money? It can even show up in family dynamics, like one spouse getting uncomfortable when the other insists on picking up the entire restaurant tab every single time they eat out with their extended family. None of these viewpoints are inherently right or wrong. They stem from our upbringing, our parents, our early financial traumas, and what we deeply value. At the end of the day, your financial setup is simply a tool to help you build a life together. If you take one thing from today's episode, let it be this. Sit down with your partner this week. Don't just talk about the budget, talk about your values. Figure out what system gives you both a sense of security and autonomy, and make sure your biggest financial goals are the ones you're chasing together. Thank you so much for being a listener of the Grow Your Wealthy Mindset podcast. On a side note, this week I attended a session with the podcasters of the Planet Money podcast. One of their sentiments was that they don't get very much feedback from their audience. From the sound of it, they wish they received more email. If a big podcast that's been going on for over a decade, like Planet Money, doesn't feel like they're getting much feedback, that puts in perspective the lack of feedback I get with this podcast. I would really love to hear what you like about this podcast or what you don't like, as well as any requests for future podcast topics. Please email me at growyourwealthymindset@gmail.com. Have a great week. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you could share it with your friends and colleagues. And now for the disclaimer. I am not a certified financial planner, accountant, or attorney, and nothing I say should be construed as professional investment, tax, or legal advice. This show is primarily for your education and entertainment. I am a physician, but I'm probably not your physician. So if you need any medical advice, please contact your own physician. Thank you.